A strong woman does not stop wanting love. She just stops mistaking attention for devotion. She does not need to be rescued from her life, but she may still long for someone strong enough to stand beside her in it. That is the kind of love story I still believe in. Hello, I'm VK Springs. You can call me Valerie. I write love stories about strong women, dangerous devotion, moral code, and the kind of love that does not make a woman smaller. Today, I want to talk about why love stories still matter to strong women. There is a strange little lie the world sometimes tells women. It says that if you are capable, you should not need tenderness. If you are independent, you should not want protection. If you have survived hard things, made the hard choices, paid your own bills, carried your own grief, fixed your own problems, and stood back up when no one came for you, then somehow you are supposed to outgrow the longing to be seen. Really seen by that one person. As if longing belongs only to the helpless. As if wanting to be loved well is evidence of weakness. I do not believe that. I think some of the strongest women in the world still want love. Not childish love, not careless love, not the kind of love that makes promises in the dark and disappears in the daylight. A strong woman has usually seen enough life to know the difference between being wanted and being valued. She knows the difference between a man who likes the idea of her and a man who can stand beside the woman she actually is. She knows the difference between chemistry and character. And that is why the love she wants is often deeper, not simpler. She does not need someone to rescue her from her own life. She built that life. She survived that life. She may have carried children, parents, businesses, grief, bills, secrets, dreams, disappointments, and the emotional weight of rooms that never admitted how much she was actually holding. She may know how to change a tire, make a decision, walk away from disrespect, sit alone in silence, and keep going when the easy thing would have been to fall apart. So no, she does not need a man because she is incapable. But that does not mean she does not want to be chosen. And there is a difference. A very large difference. Need can be about survival. Want is about recognition. Want says, I can stand on my own. I am still choosing you beside me. That is not weakness. That is sovereignty. A strong woman may not want a man to take over her life, but she may want a man who pays attention. A man who notices when her voice gets quieter. A man who does not mistake her silence for indifference. A man who understands that the woman who can handle everything should not always have to. There is a kind of love that does not arrive to conquer a woman. It arrives to witness her, to see her. It does not say, move aside, I will handle this because you cannot. It says, I see what you have carried. You do not have to carry all of it alone. That kind of love has weight. And for a strong woman, weight matters. Because she has known flimsy things, flimsy promises, flimsy charm, flimsy apologies. Flimsy men who liked her fire until it lit up a truth they did not want to see. A strong woman does not usually need more performance. She needs presence. She needs a man whose word has bones. A man with a code. Not rules for her, but standards for himself. A man who does not panic when she has an opinion. A man who does not compete with her strength, punish her for it, or try to turn her into something easier to manage. The kind of love a strong woman still wants is not gentle because it is tame. It is gentle because it knows what strength is for. And that is the difference between being handled and being held. Safe is not boring. Safe can be the most passionate thing in the world when a woman has spent too many years bracing herself. Safe is the exhale. Safe is the hand at the small of her back in a crowded room. Safe is the look that says, "I know who you are." Safe is the man who can stand close to her power without needing to reduce it. That is romantic. Not because he saves her, because he sees her. And being seen by someone who does not flinch is no small thing. This is why I think romance still matters. Not because every woman is waiting for a prince. Many women are not waiting at all. They are working, building, healing, starting over, holding families together, learning who they are after a life that asked them to be useful long before it allowed them to be cherished. But somewhere inside, there may still be a quiet question. Not loud, not desperate, just honest. Is there a love for me now? Not the younger version, not the easier version, not the version who had fewer scars, fewer standards, fewer truths. Me, now, here. The woman I became. The woman I had to become. The woman I chose to become. Is there a love that can walk beside me? That is the question underneath many of the stories I love. And it is the question underneath the kind of stories I write. Because the strong woman does not need to be made worthy of love. She already is worthy. The story is often about whether he has enough honor to love her well. That is where the tension lives. Can he meet her without owning her? Can he protect without controlling? Can he desire without diminishing? Can he be powerful without becoming careless? Can he love her in a way that gives her more of herself instead of taking pieces away? That is the kind of love that still matters to me. Love with devotion. Love with a code. Love with heat, yes, but also honor. Because passion without honor burns too dirty. And devotion without respect becomes possession. The love a strong woman still wants is not a cage. It is not a rescue mission. It is not a man arriving to explain her own life to her. It is a place where she can finally stop defending the size of her own soul. A place where her strength is not treated like a problem. A place where her tenderness is not used against her. A place where she can be fierce and soft, capable and tired, sensual and sacred, independent and still deeply loved. That is not contradiction. That is being a woman. And maybe that is why love stories continue to endure. Because the best ones remind us that being strong does not mean being untouched. It does not mean being unreachable. It does not mean being finished with desire, devotion, longing, or the hope of being chosen. The strongest woman in the room is not asking to be rescued. She is asking, silently, whether anyone is strong enough to love her without making her smaller. And when a story answers yes, we remember why we kept reading. That is the emotional world I write in. Love stories about strong women, men with a code, dangerous devotion, and the kind of love that recognizes who someone really is. If that is the kind of love story you still believe in, you can find my books through the links below. I'm VK Springs, and I still believe love stories matter.